Lindab are well known on the Swedish market as a high-class supplier of roof drainage systems, among other things. With Lindab, you'll find the complete spectrum of system solutions within modern roof tile technology. We have a full product assortment, market-leading competence, excellent service, and many years of experience. At the Lindab Profile Learning Centre in southern Sweden, there are many opportunities to show various examples of the company's products. Anders Bergstrand, head of the Learning Centre, takes us along on a visit to the location to show a typical setup of our roof drainage system as well as some of our more unique products. But first, before you install your roof drainage system and before we let Anders demonstrate how easily you can install it yourself, we have to know the correct dimensions of the system. You do that by calculating the area of the roof. Multiply the length of the roof, x, by the width, y. There are tables that show which system best fits your roof. Normally, the gutters shouldn't exceed 10 metres. If they do, the gutters should be installed starting from the middle of the roof and going out towards a pipe on either end of the structure.
I start by marking the place where I want to mount the down pipe. I mark the location of the lowest bracket for the pipe and place it 30 centimetres away from where the down pipe will be. I then pull down the front of the bracket, fold up the base and insert the small metal section into the outermost hole. I take the screwdriver, press down on the metal section, locking it.
When the lowest bracket is in place, you then attach the highest one. Then tie a string between them to see where the other brackets should be positioned. The distance between the brackets should be 60 centimetres. The fall from the gutter towards the downpipe should be 2.5 mm per metre. Our KFK, SSK and KO7 brackets fit directly on vertical fascia boards. The SSK bracket could also be used for roof pitches between 0 and 45 degrees with perpendicular fascia boards.
This bracket, on the other side of the downpipe, should be placed slightly higher. It should be at least the same height as the last bracket on that side of the pipe, to get a slight gradient from that direction as well. Then we mark on the gutter where the downpipe should be placed. You either measure it, or else you mount the gutter temporarily, adjusting its position. Transfer the mark of the downpipe onto the gutter. Now we need to make a hole for the snap-on gutter outlet. And I position the outlet centre on the mark and draw round it carefully a couple of times. There are different ways of marking the hole, but today I'm using a saw. When cutting the gutter for the outlet hole, do not use an angle grinder. I cut about 2 centimetres inside the line I made earlier when marking the gutter outlet. Then I cut into there, making the gutter more flexible. I tap at the edge to bring it in a bit in order for the water to flow more freely. I attach the outlet. First, I hook on the back, fold it up and snap it on. Now, I mount the stop end, which fits both the right and the left side. It has 2 small lugs that can be cut off or bent to prevent them touching the rafters. What remains is to mount the last piece of gutter. I mount it in the same way and adjust its position. I make sure there is a gap of 4 to 5 millimeters and mark where it should be cut. After cutting it, I file the end with a knife and place another stop end there. I bend the lug that I don't need.
Our roof drainage system has self-locking universal stop ends. Stop ends that fit both the left and right sides, which you can easily install on location by placing the stop end against the edge of the gutter. Then tap the stop end carefully with a hammer so it attaches firmly to the gutter.
Now, for the mounting of the last piece, I adjust the gutter, leaving a gap of 4 to 5 millimeters, pushing down, and finally I snap it on.
Och låser fast det med snäppet.
Now, for the joint. It is made of rubber to ensure that it seals properly. Do not use silicone or other chemicals. I hook it on at the back, fold it up to the edge of the gutter and snap it on. Finally, I take a hammer and tap the small tin plate in place. Now I measure the middle piece. I take one and place it temporarily in the gutter outlet. I hold the other bend in place and measure the distance in between, 14 centimeters, and then I add 10 centimeters to it. Here I have a middle piece that is already cut and place it at the top bend, then the lower bend, and then I hold it in place to mark the location on the top pipe holder and the top of the dame pipe. The dame pipe slides up 50 millimeters to the bend. The holder is placed at 15 centimeters below the bend. I mark there. Then I place the outlet where I want it and mark the bottom edge of the pipe and where I want to place the holder. I then measure the length of the pipe, 157 centimeters. When you remove the plastic, you need to be careful not to damage the paint. I cut it off at 157 centimeters, file the end with a knife. Then I place the outlet at the cut end and fasten it with screws. I turn the seam away from the housing in case the pipe gets clogged and bursts because of ice. The pipe will then burst outwards and away from the house. I then attach the middle piece and the bends.
Now the pipe holders can be installed. You need at least 2 pipe holders on each downpipe. Pipe holders are installed directly under each other with a maximum of 2 meters in between.
Before mounting the pipe holder, you check the vertical to make sure it is in line with the wall.
If you have stone walls, drill holes, add raw plugs and fasten with a screw. If you have wood, you can simply screw the pipe holders directly into the wall.
All that remains is to mount the pipe. I slip it onto the gutter outlet, adjust it, lock it in both places, make small adjustments and snap the double locks closed. If you need to take the pipe apart again, you can insert a screwdriver into the beveling here in the lock. I carefully prise open the holder again. It is also possible to reseal it again the same way as before.
Besides the products shown in the previous section, there is a whole series of unique and versatile products. Among other things, there are several different types of brackets. Let's start with the KFK fascia bracket, a stable bracket that is mounted in the same way as the SSK, which we just used during the standard installation. That is, the KFK is installed on a vertical fascia board.
You do the same way, the highest and the lower gutter bracket. You stretch a string in between, slide it into the back and push it in at the front, like so.
The KO7 is also a bracket for vertical fascia boards, but with a clip as a locking element in the front and back.
You do this the same way, the highest and the lowest bracket. Stretch a string, put the gutter in place. As opposed to the previous bracket, you start the front, push the gutter down and folding the locking clips.
The K11 is yet another short bracket, but for mounting on a roof with a 27-degree pitch, where the fascia boards are perpendicular to the roof pitch.
I mount this one like the other short brackets, the highest and the lowest, the string in between. Then you do the same as with the other bracket. You push the gutter down in the front first, then in the back, and folding the locking clips.
KFL, K16 and K21, brackets with longer shafts to be bent before mounting on the roof.
When you draw the inline on the bracket that needs bending, you must first decide how many brackets you need. Today, I need 8 brackets. I start by marking where I want the bend in the first bracket. I start 6 centimetres above the gutter. I then add 2 centimetres for the inline, which will be 2 centimetres for the length of the gutter I am mounting. I draw a line between the two markings.
The line marks where the bracket should be bent. Here as well, the fall should measure 2.5 millimetres per metre. It may help you to number the brackets in case you mix them up while you're working.
Here is the marking I made on the bracket, and I also have a marking on one of the rods. I line them up and bend the bracket.
The bracket is bent depending on the angle of the roof. Another way of connecting two gutters is to twist the gutters together instead of using the gutter joint as before.
On one of the gutters to be joined, you bend open the back edge a bit. On the other, you squeeze it together. You add some sealant on the gutter that will rest underneath the other. You then slide the front bead of the gutter about 6 centimetres together. Flip the top gutter into the bottom gutter, locking it together at the back.
Overflow protection is an excellent complement when a roof drainage system is subject to more water in certain areas. For example, water from a gutter drain-off located above. When you want to replace gutters, but for some reason can't, don't want to, or don't need to replace the brackets, you can use a cover brace. This cover brace is used to achieve the same colour on the old brackets as on the new gutters. Cut away the front part of the bracket and mount the cover brace with the indentation facing outward, and bend the cover brace's lock over the gutter. If you know the roof drainage system will be subject to a lot of snow and ice, a stay strap should be used to stabilise the system. Our gutter stop ends, RGH and RGV, are stop ends without built-in sealant, made for mounting on the left and right sides of the gutter. Sealant is applied between the stop end and the gutter. When the gutter goes round a corner, for example around a bay window or the corner of a house, an inner or outer gutter angle is used. You should have the brackets mounted in the corner in such a way that the gutter angle has support on both sides, about 10 cm in on each side of the gutter angle. Yet another example of a pipe holder is the SSV, the spike holder as it's also called. First, drill a hole in the facade, then hammer in the spike and mount the pipe holder for the spike.
When the nail is in place, you need to ensure there's a small incline downwards in order for the water to run away from the house instead of towards it. You then slide the tin plate in place, first the bottom end, and then you pull in the top and fold it so that it locks around the nail.
The adjustable shoe is a great way to collect rainwater for gardening. Mount the adjustable shoe at the level you want it on the downpipe. A branch pipe is used if you have several roof surfaces and want to limit the number of downpipes on the walls. Mount the branch pipe on the downpipe at the height required by the connecting pipe. One good way to keep sludge and loose material from getting into the system is to mount the drain shoe and leaf filter at the end of the downpipe. The drain trap is another way to prevent rubbish from coming into the system. It is easy to wash away sludge, leaves and the like from the drain trap.
You snap it into place. You bring the sliding pipe into the drain trap. Now you can easily clean it. You can also slide the pipe upwards if you want to remove the drain trap.
The self-cleaning leaf trap is the easiest way to prevent leaves and sludge from ending up in the system. It is self-cleaning and does not need maintenance.